recently I became certified as a brain health coach, because as a therapist, I've struggled with the idea that part of my training was not brain anatomy. So I wasn't trained in the different lobes of the brain and what each lobe does, and then how that shows up with the behaviors that I work on with my clients. So I recently certified through Dr.Amen, and he does exactly that. As a psychiatrist, as well as a brain imaging specialist, he has tied in how the different brain lobes are responsible for the different behaviors that present with all the diagnosis I've been trained to kind of dole out. And he's identified that there are 7 kinds of anxiety, 7 kinds of depression, 6 kinds of compulsive behavior, thinking, and so think addictions, 6 kinds of addictions, and 5 types of overeating or emotional eating brain types. Okay, that's really powerful stuff. All right, so it's really powerful. How impactful has this been for me? Because I've been using a lot of his work for a while now, but just recently been certified in it. Depending on how you type, and now these typings are based on him doing brain imaging, so SPECT imaging, right? So looking at the brain of a person who comes in and looking at where the person is firing and where they're not firing. And where there's overstimulation and understimulation, there's going to be problems in those different lobes. And nobody said you only get one type. Okay, so you could have type 1 anxiety, but type 2 depression, and have compulsive behaviors when it comes to addictive substances. Nobody said you get one type, depending on what's going on with your brain. If you've had a car accident, if you've been exposed to neurotoxins, if you stay dehydrated, or you have food sensitivities or allergies, your brain may not work in the way that it's supposed to work. So instead of blaming the victim, right, assuming that my client is unmotivated, undisciplined, chronic, and resistant, those are the terms that are used in therapy. Now I know, because some of my clients can go get scanned and some of them can't, some of them just use the quizzes and questionnaires that I use in practice, where their brain is not firing as well, and then I can target my efforts to those areas. So someone who shows up as being compulsive and impulsive has a specific brain type, okay? And so that particular brain type needs a specific sort of nutrition program, specific sort of exercise programming, and a specific type of direction when it comes to therapeutic interventions. All right, so I'm not going to treat that person the same way I would treat somebody who comes in with like a type 6. So they're going to be a lot more emotional, and they're going to need a lot more carbohydrates in their diet because their serotonin's low, whereas this compulsive impulsive type 3 is going to need a lot more protein and fat in their diet with a little bit of carbohydrates. You see what I'm saying? And when I address those things and I get the supplements right for their brain type, I get a reduction in their symptoms. I get a reduction in them wanting to compulsively eat and sabotaging their fat loss efforts. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I want you to understand, and I knew today's video was going to be longer because I wanted to talk about software and hardware, basically. What you're thinking, how your brain is working, what it's saying to you, think of that as your software. The hardware is your brain even healthy? And if your brain isn't healthy, I know that now from the typing work that I'm doing, and I know how to help you rehab your brain, but I also know what I need to do to offset the fact that certain areas are not working properly. So let me just say this. The prefrontal cortex of the brain, a lot of times with people who have attention deficit, that part of the brain is not working very well. That is the executive center. That is your parent of your brain. That controls impulses. That gets you up to go to that early morning workout. It makes sure that you plan your meals for the day, and it gets you to say no when somebody offers you junk food. If that part of your brain is on vacation because it's not getting enough blood flow and oxygen, you're going to suck when it comes to workouts. You're going to suck when it comes to following your meal plan. You're not going to be able to put any of the 13 days of fat loss to use because your brain's not working properly. Do you see the problem? So when people don't do comprehensive work in the area of trying to help people change their behavior, they're really doing a disservice to the people that receive it. So I hope this has been helpful. I really wanted to spend this last day, this 14th day, explaining why we do what we do at Fit for Life and FRL Integrative Therapy, why I believe it needs to be Eat Fit, Move Fit, Think Fit, why I think it needs to be comprehensive, because a lot of people have been told over time that they're undisciplined and lazy, and it's way more complicated than that to follow a program and to see it through to the end and to see the weight loss and the fat loss that you want. Okay? I am here for you. We are here for you. The team is here for you. I hope you've enjoyed the 14 days of fat loss. We always have an FRL Diva Slim Down starting at the beginning of a month. Check to see if we have registration open here. Right now for the next program, I want you to stay fierce, fabulous, and fit for life. And until the next series, take care.